Shalom to my brothers and sisters who are in the body of Yahushua HaMashiach. Today's lesson will be a continuation of Yahuwah's calendar, and this is part 11. And the title of this lesson is A Review of the 3 Days and 3 Night Prophecy. A review of the 3 days and 3 night prophecy. Because many of you probably not understanding how is Yahushua able to be crucified on the first day and be resurrected on the third day within that 3-day period? Because I know there has been other teachings out here about his crucifixion and resurrection. So again, the answer is in the word. It's very clear. So this is what we're going to do, a quick review of the timeline of the 3 days and 3 night prophecy. But first we're going to open up with a verse. We're going to first go to Mathew chapter 16, verse 21. Other verses I would like for you to write down is Mathew chapter 17, verse 23, Mathew chapter 20, verse 19, and Mathew chapter 27, verse 64. After I finish reading Mathew chapter 16, verse 21, we will also read Ephesians chapter 4, verse 8 to 10, and for further review, read Psalms chapter 68, verse 18. Then after that, I will give you other scriptures that talks about that he would be resurrected on the third day. That is the clue. He would be resurrected on the third day. Also write down Mathew chapter 12, verse 40, and the precept for that is the book of Jonah, chapter 1, verse 17. Okay, so let's go to Mathew chapter 16, verse 21. From that time forth began Yahushua to show unto his disciples how that they must go into Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders and chief priests and scribes, and be killed and raised again the third day. Okay? So according to this verse, he's going to be raised again the third day. Other verses to support this I need for you to write down are Mark chapter 9, verse 31, chapter 10, verse 34, Luke chapter 9, verse 22, chapter 13, verse 32, chapter 18, verse 33, chapter 24, verse 7, chapter 24, verse 21, chapter 24, verse 46, Acts chapter 10, verse 40, and 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 4. Now for the review of the timeline, okay? So we know that according to the scriptures, he died on Passover Day, which was Abib 14th, the first day, which is the 6th day of the week on the lunar solar calendar, okay? So at the third hour, then this is during the daylight time. When you see the yellow, that represents daylight. During the third hour of Abib 14, during the daylight time, he was crucified. And you read it in Mark chapter 15, verse 25. And that's about 9 a.m. Then in the 6th hour, darkness came, and that's about 12 p.m. So from 12 p.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., and about that time, which is the 9th hour, that's when he died, and also that's when the darkness ended. The darkness ended within the 9th hour. Then the light came, okay? Now, when you read the scripture closer, you begin to realize that when he was buried in a new tomb. So they had his body somewhere else. And that's why Joseph, I believe his name was Joseph, asked for his body so he can bury him. And that phase occurred around in the evening, and that was when the sun was going down. So you had the Abib 14 about to leave out and going. Abib 14 was leaving out, and Abib 15 was coming in, which is the Sabbath. So that's why they was quickly bury him in the nearby sepulchre by cavalry, and did it according to the custom. Now this is a law. You will find that in the book of, I think it's Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 22, I believe. If not, check out part 10 of the video, and it will give you the scriptures on the law about why he must be buried. Okay? So, when evening comes, that's from sundown to sundown. That starts a new day. So that's Abib 15, which is the second day of the week. Okay? So his body still remaining in the sepulchre. And that is the second day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Okay? Because we know Passover is called the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Again, watch part 10 for the scriptures on that to prove what I'm saying. Then on the first day of the week, and that's when you have Mary Magdalene and the other people coming with her to see his body. Okay? Now, here's the key thing. Yahushua rose in the dawn phase, and dawn is when you first see light. You do not see the sun, and you can witness this yourself right now when you go outside before morning comes. And he had risen before that time. By the time Mary and them got to the tomb, it was at sunrise. Okay? The sun was rising by the time they got to the tomb. All right? So, going back to the beginning, on Abib 14th, because he died in the darkness part, that counts. That counts as the first part of night. Because remember, the prophet said 3 days and 3 nights. Okay? Then this part here, because light came within that same day, that's part of the first light, first daylight. Because in this verse, when they say 3 days and 3 nights, it's talking about three nights or 3 darkness and 3 daylights. Okay? So on the Abib 15th, we have a night and we have day, which is daylight. And then on Abib 16th, we have night, and because he rose in the phase of daylight, it does count. An example you can compare to this so you can see that I'm not talking out of my head is when Moses was in the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. So if you go to the book of Exodus chapter 19, and I'm going to give you just a quick outline so you can go back and compare, because remember I said the Most High ways is not our ways, and his time is not the same as we consider what time to be. So you have to understand him to understand these prophecies that he gives to us, because they are a great deep mystery. And I forgot to mention that darkness that occurred during the daylight time was a total lunar eclipse, and that can only occur on a full moon day because the moon is aligned with the earth and the sun. So this is the order: the moon, earth, and sun. And that's how you can have a total eclipse. So let us go to Exodus chapter 19. I'm going to read verse 1 because this is something you can compare so you can see how did Yahushua still fulfill the 3 days and the 3 nights. Exodus chapter 19, verse 1. In the 3rd month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day they came into the wilderness of Sinai. So they came into the wilderness of Sinai on the 15th day because they left Egypt at night on Abib 15. Reread Exodus chapter 12 and Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 1 through 6, and that would prove what I'm saying. So now that we know this, you're going to have to bear with me on this when I give the outline for Moses. So I'm going to take my time. Starting, if you read from Exodus chapter 19 to 32, this is the outline you would come to realize. So they came to the wilderness of Sinai, where Mount Sinai is too, on the 3rd month, which is the 15th day. And on that day, the Most High told them they had to be sanctified before he could come down and converse with them. So on the 15th day was the first day of their sanctification day. Also, Jethro came and visited them that day. You can read that in Exodus 18 in the book of Josephus, Antiquities, book 3, chapter 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Then on the 16th day of the 3rd month is the 2nd day of their sanctification day. And Jethro was there for the 2nd day as well. And you will find that also in the works of Josephus, Antiquity, Book 3, Chapter 3, from 63 to 65, to Book 3, Chapter 4, Section 1 through 2, from 66 to 74. Then on the 17th day of the 3rd month, that's when the Most High came down to them in that cloud. Now the reason why they had to be sanctified and they had to stay away from their wives, because the Most High